Hi, I'm Lee Burkeen with Louisiana Football Magazine. We have a great show tonight. Bert Jones is in studio, Mike Hillman, two of the former LSU quarterbacks that they were there almost about the same time. They actually paralleled, and we're going to talk a lot about their careers. And we've got Jim Crane with State Farm coming on. We're going to talk about the golf tournament that Bert Jones is involved in and with Hollingsworth. We're going to talk a lot about that as well. We've got our Recruit of the Week, Ray Parker from Ruston High School, and much, much more. We'll be right back.
When you come to Relief Windows, your experience starts here.
Or here.
Then we come to your home.
We measure twice.
And then we bring custom windows to your home.
We remove your old windows.
Install your new windows.
Clean our mess.
And we make sure you're completely satisfied.
And all of this before you pay a dime. And at Relief Windows, our #1 product is customer satisfaction.
Relief Windows.
Honey, what's wrong with the disposer?
What disposer?
Clogged drain? Call Roto-Rooter, America's neighborhood drain expert.
Louisiana Office Solutions Company is the complete answer for all your office products and janitorial supply needs. From supplies for school or your home office, to styrofoam cups for your restaurant, to pallets of paper and cleaning supplies for your business. Choose from a large selection of furniture from chairs to desks for office or home, traditional and contemporary styles, or work with our design team to create a complete furniture layout for your building. So call or come by Louisiana Office Solutions Company on Florida at Lobdell, where everyone is welcome.
Delta World Tire is 100% committed to making every part of your experience with us hassle-free and pleasant. Whether it's tires, brakes, oil change, or scheduled maintenance, Delta World Tire's highest priority is serving you. If you're traveling this season, Delta World Tire is here to help you make sure your vehicle is road ready. If the tire needs replacing, the oil needs changing, or any other scheduled maintenance, Delta World Tire wants to make sure you get there.
We're Delta World Tire.
I want to mention in North Louisiana, people watching in Shreveport and Ruston and even Lake Charles, South, and New Orleans, Lafayette. These are the preview magazines. If you can't find one, go to our website, lafootballmagazine.com. On the right's the North copy. On the left is the South. We took the South at Walker High School. And on the right, Ruston High School. Man, we got Ruston going on the whole show. We've got Ray Parker as our Recruit of the Week. Bert Jones is here. Mike Hillman. We got to mention Lockport. Lockport is in the house as well. The Bayou, and we're going to talk about how it changed the Central Lafourche over time. It was Lockport when Mike Hillman was there. There's our website, lafootballmagazine.com. There's a lot to talk about. When I was trying to put this show together with Jace, I said, man, we'd love to get Bert Jones on. We got to get Mike Hillman on, and we get two former LSU quarterbacks on the same show. They know each other. Guys, thanks for joining us.
And Mike
More
was
welcome.
really good. We had
One good quarterback.
No, Bert wasn't playing when I was playing. Thank God he was a freshman, and I was a senior.
Well, Mike, was the first quarterback to throw for 1,000 yards at LSU. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Didn't throw the ball a lot back in the day at LSU. And
No, we were 3 yards in a cloud of dust, and that wasn't my style.
Played for his dad. His dad was his coach in high school.
Two state championships my junior and senior year.
Successful
Great
businessman, still working.
Yes.
You'll be in the Bayou today when you're done with the show.
Going down to Golden Meadow and Fouchon after the show.
No fishing, right?
No fishing. Dry docks.
And Bert is a pilot. These are two pilots, not just two quarterbacks, but these guys fly. But Bert came up from Ruston. Thank you, Bert, for joining us today.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here.
Baltimore Colts, not the Indianapolis Colts, young people, Baltimore Colts. Remember back in the 70s watching Bert, number 7,
Yeah.
number 7 with the Colts. And Roger Carr was one of his receivers from Louisiana. I know his son, John Carr, pretty good. John's a good guy.
John and James, great people. Undine, his wife. Roger was a tremendous athlete and really made me look good. That guy could run.
Back in the day, it was great to watch the AFC games. I was a Steelers fan growing up, Terry Bradshaw.
I'm going to have to leave.
And I was a Colts fan. And true story.
Well,
and then I was a Dolphins fan. And so today, I'm just a fan of football. It's not the same to me for the NFL growing up as a kid as it is currently. I don't know why. It was just different then, right, Bert? I think it was a little different.
I think it's still the same. The difference is there's so much exposure today, whereas when we were growing up, you know, you didn't have the 24-hour sports channels,
right,
where you saw everything and every play. It's almost like overexposure, but it's still good. It's great.
Yeah, every game's on TV now.
You know, one thing I never knew, and I knew your dad went to Tulane. I didn't know he went to LSU first.
Actually, he came to LSU as a recruit, followed behind his brother, who was on the LSU team at the time, and it was during the war. And so if you were 18, you joined some branch of service. Well, he joined the Navy, and it just so happened that Tulane was the Navy school, Army was the LSU school, and so he went to Tulane. It's kind of a funny story in that he played for LSU and beat Tulane, and then went to Tulane and came back and was the captain and played against LSU and beat them.
Mike, has that ever happened before outside of that?
No. I've never seen it, never heard of it.
Well,
it's amazing. I'm listening to all this.
You're learning too.
Earlier we were talking.
You know Jim Bernhardt, right?
Oh yeah.
Well, Jim has my father's pants in his office because Jim's father was a captain of the LSU team, and back then, the captain of the team, whether it be LSU or Tulane, the loser had to give his pants to the LSU team, and so Jim's got my father's Tulane pants in his office.
That's funny.
I didn't know that till a few years ago. When
I hope they didn't strip down in midfield.
Well, as long as people don't point
and laugh. And today's weather, no. But the thing about it too, back in the day, I didn't know you were the ball boy for the Cleveland Browns during when Jim Brown, your dad, was a coordinator on that team.
My father played 10 years in the league, primarily for the Cleveland Browns. Can you imagine playing on 8 NFL championship teams? I mean, that's what they did.
That's amazing.
Paul Brown, Otto Graham, Dante Lavelli, Max Speedy, Lou Groza, Marion Motley. It was just
all the big names.
Unbelievable team. And then when he got out, he came back to Ruston, and then Blanton Collier asked him to come back and coach. And so he started coaching again in '62, and my senior year in high school was his last year coach. He came back home to watch me and my brother Bill play at Louisiana Tech.
We got some highlights here. We got some in the show with Mike too in the Peach Bowl, but we got some highlights with Bert Jones. We can get those highlights up. Here we go. This is your boy Brad Davis. Brad Davis in the end zone on this.
That was Gerald Kegley, right?
Kegley, I'm sorry.
Kegley, yeah.
His brilliant passing in the final 3 minutes led to an almost unbelievable one-point victory. First, a desperation pass to Kegley.
Desperation.
Then to Jimmy Ledoux, and the Tigers had the ball on the Rebel 39 with 59 seconds to go. After a completion to Boyd, Jones' attempt to Ledoux at the goal line was slapped down. 1 second to play.
Sure.
And then Brad Davis grabbed Jones' pass and stepped into the corner of the end zone as time ran out.
Brad Davis, good throw, good catch.
Rusty Jackson kicked.
Hammond native, Brad Davis. Brad was on a year ago, great guy. And any memories from that game, Bert?
Oh yeah, I mean, full of memories. It was a great last drive. A lot of great plays by the receivers, reeling in some of these wild throws. Brad, who lives in Opelousas, actually married my wife, who is my wife now, next door neighbor back then.
Incredible, small world.
So it's a small world. Everybody talks about the 1 second and running 3 plays in 8 seconds, and you know, da-da-da-da-da-da. I always get a kick because I love giving Brad a hard time. If people looked at the sidelines, I mean, there was no question he was out of bounds.
Came back in.
We're going to take a break, and next segment we're going to introduce you to Jim Crane with State Farm. We're going to have Bert Jones. We're going to bring Mike Hillman back. We got highlights of the Peach Bowl when they beat Florida State. They had some great players back then. Ron Sellers was an All-American, a great team. They were a passing team, and LSU wins the game back in the 60s. We're going to be right back in just a moment.
Finally got me, Ben.
What's that, Rick?
The Clark Street crater, the mother of all potholes. For decades, it's tormented the people of this town. They try to fill it, but it always returns. Got me good.
But you know State Farm's got you, too.
You ain't nothing.
Are you trash talking a pothole?
Yeah. Yeah, I am.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.
Call or visit State Farm agent Bill Barkus in Baton Rouge today.
Delta World Tire is 100% committed to making every part of your experience with us hassle-free and pleasant. Whether it's tires, brakes, oil change, or scheduled maintenance, Delta World Tire's highest priority is serving you. If you're traveling this season, Delta World Tire is here to help you make sure your vehicle is road ready. If the tire needs replacing, the oil needs changing, or any other scheduled maintenance, Delta World Tire wants to make sure you get there.
We're Delta World Tire.
Well, it finally happened, Zachary. Somebody burned down my she shed.
Nobody burned down your she shed, Cheryl.
Well, my she shed's on fire.
The she shed was struck by lightning.
Zachary, is my she shed covered by State Farm?
Your she shed's covered, Cheryl.
You hear that, Victor? I'm getting a new she shed.
She shear?
Mm-hmm.
That's wonderful news.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.
Call or visit State Farm agent David Bryan in Walker today.
When you come to Relief Windows, your experience starts here.
Or here.
Then we come to your home.
We measure twice.
And then we bring custom windows to your home.
We remove your old windows.
Install your new windows.
Clean our mess.
And we make sure you're completely satisfied.
And all of this before you pay a dime. And at Relief Windows, our #1 product is customer satisfaction.
Relief Windows.
Welcome back. Lee Burkeen, Louisiana Football TV magazine. Joining us is Jim Crane, a longtime State Farm agent in Louisiana, and he's got a sports background. Played at Ouachita Baptist. I'm familiar with them because I've worked with them, D3 and D2 schools, 1AA schools, but a beautiful college in Arkansas. Played with Cliff Harris, who played for the Dallas Cowboys, was one of those really good DBs for Dallas during the Tom Landry days, and glad that you could make it here, and your son Jamie's here with us.
Yeah, we're glad to
Bert
be here.
Jones, and we want to promote the tournament. You know, this show talks about football. It talks about all the recruits. It talks about who's coming up in the state and all these colleges, but we want to talk about something that's really important outside of football. And for 31 years, Bert Jones has been a part of this with Jim and also Mike Hollingsworth Ford, Richards Ford, and the Cystic Fibrosis is their 31st annual golf tournament, which is at Santa Maria in Baton Rouge, October the 12th at 8 in the morning.
That's right.
We want to recruit people to be a part of this for a really special cause to help.
Yeah. We're very grateful for the opportunity, especially to work with Bert and Mike Hollingsworth and the Richards family on this tournament. We've been blessed to raise about $2.2 million over 30 years of this tournament, and we're looking for a big one this time. I think we have about 25 teams right now, but we've got room for more, and we have a good time. We feed 3 meals. Bert goes around and coaches everybody and hits some balls with everyone, so it's a lot of fun.
I have repented, though.
And, you know, I'm glad to be a part of it, volunteering to help and telling people. And your son is with us today, Jamie.
Hey,
thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
You're a part of this. I mean, you're actually someone that's been going through this cystic fibrosis and doing well. And you're a fighter, determined, and wanted everybody to hear you and bring you on today.
Yeah, well, I'm 32 years old, and I was diagnosed at birth. And, you know, living with cystic fibrosis is a daily struggle with breathing, dealing with all the issues from the digestive system. But I've always tried to turn every situation that I've had with it into a positive, you know, looking at the way I deal with things, and if my friends are having issues, sometimes I'll be like, man, that's nothing, look what I have to do. But sometimes I take the issues I'm dealing with and try to say, look, here's how I'm dealing with this. How can we help you get through your issues? But yeah, I've managed to survive a long time with it. 2012, I had my first double lung transplant because one of the issues with the disease is that there is not a cure yet. But the foundation's goal is to raise money, not that we treat the disease, but that we can actually end the disease, to make lung transplants something that you don't even think about needing to get, and the creation of all these new medications to help solve the disease.
Jamie, I want to brag on you a little bit because you didn't let that stop you from participating in athletics.
Oh, no, I didn't.
You were at Christian Life High School, which is now Church Academy, and you were on some state championship basketball teams. You played basketball.
I did, yeah. I played basketball, and I was really good at riding the bench. But, you know, I every time I got out on the court, though, I tried to, you know, prove to the fans there and prove to my coach that nobody was going to get anything over me. Even though I was 5'6" and weighed about 100 pounds, I gave everything that I had when I played and got to be a part of state championship teams. And you know, had a dream to be a college basketball coach, but things didn't work out. And you know, now I'm married. I have a 4-year-old daughter, and I've had a second lung transplant. Now I'm just trying to enjoy life and spread awareness about CF and help find a cure for this disease.
Your attitude's incredible, and like I said, you know, people say you've got a cough, I can't go to practice today or this and that. And look what you did, participating on a basketball team and practicing and running the court and doing all the things that we do.
Well, we have actually 4 sons, and Jamie's the youngest, and there was never any room for complaining with the other boys. They just recognized that because he was without a doubt the toughest one and kind of ruled the roost, but good athlete.
I love Jim's story, how he got to Baton Rouge via Leesville, Louisiana.
Right. Yeah.
And can you tell people your story, how you became a State Farm agent?
Sure.
You went from Ouachita Baptist in football.
Went Ouachita Baptist football to Fort Polk for 1 year, Vietnam for a year. Came back to graduate school, and the first job I got was back in Leesville. And I came in contact with a number of fellows that became my friends, and I think there were 10 of us that are now at State Farm. So it was a great opportunity for me. It's just a God's blessing, I think, you know, and it's provided us, without a doubt, opportunities to see Jamie do well, and also to be involved with this foundation, which we started, goodness, when Jamie was born, we had one lady that worked in New Orleans and no secretary, and now we have probably 60 events a year in Louisiana. So
that's good, and want to mention too, again, it's October the 12th. Which is the week of the Georgia game, people. If you've seen
the day before the Georgia game.
I mean,
come on down to the game, come to the tournament.
No excuses if you're
in town. Have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Got a lot of my friends coming out. You know, it's kind of funny. I became involved via Jim, like so many people. You know, we talk about cystic fibrosis. I'm a gene carrier of CF. I have a brother that has 3 children that live with CF every day. And 32 years ago? Is that how long it's been?
Well, this will be 31.
Well, I know, but it was
when y'all probably started.
Oh yeah,
yeah. When you started saying
right.
We're going to come back. We've got another segment with Jim and Jamie and also Bert, and we're going to introduce this helmet too. This helmet's actually a real helmet. This is Ouachita Baptist, and this is we're going to show this off when we come back. And you're watching Louisiana Football TV magazine.
Delta World Tire is 100% committed to making every part of your experience with us hassle-free and pleasant. Whether it's tires, brakes, oil change, or scheduled maintenance, Delta World Tire's highest priority is serving you. If you're traveling this season, Delta World Tire is here to help you make sure your vehicle is road ready. If the tire needs replacing, the oil needs changing, or any other scheduled maintenance, Delta World Tire wants to make sure you get there.
We're Delta World Tire.
Handling a gator like this can be scary, and this is pretty risky too. But do you know what's really dangerous? Dealing with the insurance company after your car wreck. If you've been injured, get a fighter. That's why you need to call me. I'm not afraid to handle them, and I'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve. So if you've been hurt, hire a professional. Just call me. Get it done.
Get Gordon. Get it done.
Call 888-8888 or go to getgordon.com.
Louisiana Office Solutions Company is the complete answer for all your office products and janitorial supply needs. From supplies for school or your home office, to styrofoam cups for your restaurant, to pallets of paper and cleaning supplies for your business. Choose from a large selection of furniture from chairs to desks for office or home, traditional and contemporary styles, or work with our design team to create a complete furniture layout for your building. So call or come by Louisiana Office Solutions Company on Florida at Lobdell, where everyone is welcome.
Finally got me, Ben.
What's that, Rick?
The Clark Street crater, the mother of all potholes. For decades, it's tormented the people of this town. They try to fill it, but it always returns. Got me good.
But you know State Farm's got you too.
You ain't nothing.
Are you trash talking a pothole?
Yeah. Yeah, I am.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.
Call or visit State Farm agent Jim Crane in Baton Rouge today.
This is the helmet of Ouachita Baptist Jim Crane, his playing days. I love bringing these helmets because it just shows you how advanced we've come with these helmets, but it's cool to bring on these old helmets. And I think it's still got all the hits on it too, Jim. All the marks and everything, and it's amazing. You know, watching, I love those throwback jerseys too. When LSU had those what did you think, Bert, of those throwback numbers this past weekend with LSU?
Throwback?
Yeah, they had the old throwback
they look
helmets.
Normal to me.
I'm sorry.
You know, I felt like I was at home again.
Leesville talking about everything with moving to Baton Rouge,
Right.
and you were a teammate of Cliff Harris, who played a long time with the Dallas Cowboys.
I was with Cliff this weekend, as a matter of fact, in Arkadelphia for a homecoming at Ouachita. Cliff and I were roommates. And me being a receiver and Cliff being a safety, we spoke about half the time. We couldn't even talk to each other because of the licks he put on me, you know, when I'd come across the middle. But great, and he's been a big help to cystic fibrosis over in Dallas too. So.
Jim, what's your favorite memory of playing college football at Ouachita Baptist? Do you have anything that sticks out?
I think, you know, you get all these funny memories, but there's one particular one, and every time I go in that stadium, I look at this spot on the field and remember when a player from Arkansas A&M ran around me for a touchdown. We lost the ball game, but I think about that.
That's the one you remember.
That's the one I remember. I was blessed to have a couple of good quarterbacks that could throw the ball, and I caught a few passes. So just the camaraderie in the team, it carried me a lot in life, you know.
Talk about some of the ex-players that have joined Bert in the tournament in the past.
Oh goodness, we have last year, I don't know, we had maybe 15 or 20 former LSU players that came out and introduced themselves, and you know, I don't want to leave anybody out, but we get good participation. And Joe Oliva was there, a couple of the coaches were there. We think we got a pretty good group coming this year too. So
Charles Alexander, I think, has come in from Houston to play.
He has, most every year.
And one of the great running backs from LSU. Growing up, that was one of the guys I looked up to. Daddy used to take me to practice and see Charlie practice. That's back when you could get an autograph at practice. You didn't have to sign in to go to practice.
Yeah.
And ran into him twice in one day. That's when they had the old McDonald's on campus around the curve, and it was the only place to go eat probably back then.
If you had money.
If you had money, yeah, went McDonald's.
The dorm is where I ate every meal.
And Broussard Hall, but they so much to talk about, and it's such a great event. Like I said, October the 12th, starts at 8 in the morning.
Right.
And as all golf tournaments,
there are 2 rounds. You can play at 8 or you can play at 1 o'clock.
That's right, we do have 2 rounds.
So we have, 2 tee-off times. So if you are not an early morning kind of person, get up, come on out. We'll make a place for you.
And we give out, Lee, we give out these shirts every year, a quality shirt. We're all 3 wearing a different shirt for those years. I have 31 of them hanging in my closet, as a matter of fact.
Wow.
But we try for everybody to have a good time. They walk away with a good gift bag and, opportunities out there to win a car from Hollingsworth Richards, doing it like that too, which makes it, but what we like to offer for people that have an interest in it, if they would call the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, which is 225-769-9994.
Give it out one more time.
225-769-9994. And we'll get you involved.
And look, if you're watching in Shreveport or Bossier City or Ruston or Lake Charles or New Orleans or St. Tammany or Houma Lafourche Parish, come on down. They've got golf teams. You don't have to play in the tournament to be a part of it. You can donate and be a part of the actual event, right? And there's food. There's a lot of different companies supplying food.
We have Enterprise as our presenting sponsor. Of course, Hollingsworth Richards family are the title sponsors. We have several contributing sponsors too that go along. Mockler Beverage provides drinks for us, and also Coca-Cola. Every year, these people have been involved. And as a matter of fact, a couple of times I've failed to call people, and they'll call me and say, "How come you hadn't talked to me?"
That's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing. Yeah, you bet.
And Bert, you were talking about that is close to home with you too.
Yes, it is close to home, of course. As I've stated earlier, I'm a gene carrier of cystic fibrosis. It takes both the mother and the father, of course. But I have a younger brother, Tom Jones, who played at Ruston High, University of Arkansas as a quarterback and started 3.5 years up there. He has 3 children with CF. And so I experience the challenges that they have. But what I have learned to appreciate as much as anything are the strides that we have made since we started this 31 years ago. I mean, back then, Jamie, what are you, 32 now? Mm-hmm. I can say this, they were talking about a life expectancy of 10 to 12 years for a child with CF. Well, we've gone way beyond that. You're talking about Jamie being a basketball player. All 3 of my 2 nephews and my niece were also athletes at Ruston High, whether it be soccer or track. My niece actually competed and finished in the top 5 in the state cross-country meet as a CF liver. Wow. And they've all gone on. One's a banker in Atlanta, one's an attorney in Washington, D.C., and Sarah got her master's and she's teaching school. Yeah. So we have learned how to persist with CF, but we're still looking for the cure for CF. Right. And nobody's mentioned it, but CF is a foundation where we work on volunteerism and donations, because we think that the money raised needs to go to the CF Foundation. And I'm not sure, but I'm sure it's well over 90% of every dollar that goes in to the CF Foundation goes to the lungs of a CF patient. And that's critical mass when it comes to raising money for true good causes. And we're getting better every day. I mean, I can see the life style of my 2 nephews and niece, and know that the things that we have done, the money we've raised, have provided better opportunities for them to live just a normal life with CF.
Yeah, everybody that's a part, that's why we're trying to get more people. Everybody that donates helps, helps for the treatments, helps for the future, and I know there's a lot of people out there fighting different things, cancer and this, and there's several different things. But this is something that, we just want to get more people involved.
Right. And, a couple of things that are brand new to us. We have 2 new medicines that came in the marketplace last year that's going to help probably 75% of the people with CF to thin the mucus, because it is a lung disease primarily and a pancreatic disease. But those new medicines, we have something called gene editing, where they're going to eventually be able to eradicate that gene, that bad gene. It takes it out of there. And so we have a lot to be thankful
It's
for.
amazing the advancement medicine today.
It is. But the CF Foundation even does more than the medicine. It provides a community for CF livers to be able to feel like you're not on an island all by yourself. Right. Oftentimes, Jamie has endured some things that other people may or may not endure, but once they walk into that door or through that door, there are people like Jamie that can help with that process and help counsel.
You bet.
Jamie, any final thoughts of any young person or any person out there that...
I think one of the best things for me was always being involved in athletics. And I think I would encourage anybody who has cystic fibrosis, who's young, or young parents that have a child, is don't discourage them from being a part of some sort of sport because they have cystic fibrosis.
That's right.
Encourage them to get out there, be athletic, and you know, those young kids will find an inner strength. They may be smaller than everybody else, but like me, they'll find an inner strength to be able to participate in whatever sport they choose.
He's a pretty good golfer, and he tries to beat my brains out every time we play. I have to tell him, remind him, I'm an old man now. You got to take it easy on me. So.
I remember you when you were young.
Yeah.
We're going to keep promoting. We're going to keep promoting this throughout the show, and give that number out one more time, Jim.
225-769-9994.
All right. That was Jim Crane. Thank you for joining us, Jamie. Thank you,
Thank
Bert.
you, Lee.
We'll bring you back. We're over halfway through the show, and we'll be right back. We got Mike Hillman coming back, and we also have a recruit of the week, Ray Parker.
Where's he from?
Ruston High School.
Hello.
6'5", 275, and he looks like he's 180 when he runs. We'll be right back.
Oh, great.
Louisiana Office Solutions Company is the complete answer for all your office products and janitorial supply needs. From supplies for school or your home office, to styrofoam cups for your restaurant, to pallets of paper and cleaning supplies for your business. Choose from a large selection of furniture from chairs to desks for office or home, traditional and contemporary styles, or work with our design team to create a complete furniture layout for your building. So call or come by Louisiana Office Solutions Company on Florida at Lobdell, where everyone is welcome.
Delta World Tire is 100% committed to making every part of your experience with us hassle-free and pleasant. Whether it's tires, brakes, oil change, or scheduled maintenance, Delta World Tire's highest priority is serving you. If you're traveling this season, Delta World Tire is here to help you make sure your vehicle is road ready. If the tire needs replacing, the oil needs changing, or any other scheduled maintenance, Delta World Tire wants to make sure you get there.
We're Delta World Tire.
Handling a gator like this can be scary, and this is pretty risky too. But do you know what's really dangerous? Dealing with the insurance company after your car wreck. If you've been injured, get a fighter. That's why you need to call me. I'm not afraid to handle them, and I'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve. So if you've been hurt, hire a professional. Just call me. Get it done.
Get Gordon. Get it done.
Call 888-8888 or go to getgordon.com.
When you come to Relief Windows, your experience starts here.
Or here.
Then we come to your home.
We measure twice.
And then we bring custom windows to your home.
We remove your old windows.
Install your new windows.
Clean our mess.
And we make sure you're completely satisfied.
And all of this before you pay a dime. And at Relief Windows, our #1 product is customer satisfaction.
Relief Windows.
The 1968 Peach Bowl is a story of perseverance, as both Florida State and LSU held fourth-quarter leads only to lose them. Historic Grant Field on the campus of Georgia Tech would host the first-ever Peach Bowl between 7-3 LSU and 8-2 Florida State. Charles McClendon had won 4 out of his first 5 bowl games with the Tigers and was hoping for a fast start against Bill Peterson's Seminoles, who were competing as independents. LSU wins the coin toss at midfield, and looking for an early edge, elects to receive the kickoff, much to the delight of the Tiger letterman at the bottom of your screen. But Florida State squibs the kick, and LSU can't come up with the ball at the bottom of the pile. It ends up in the hands of the Seminoles, who had their first scoring opportunity. On the initial play from scrimmage, FSU's Tom Bailey swept around the right end, racing 36 yards for the game's first touchdown. Just 15 seconds in, and LSU was trailing 7-0. The Tigers continued to turn the ball over in the rainy conditions as quarterback Mike Hillman was intercepted at the 12-yard line on LSU's next possession. Hillman, a native of Lockport, Louisiana, had the Tigers back in the red zone on the next drive, but a fumble put the ball back in Seminole hands. After 1 quarter of play, LSU had thrown an interception, lost 3 fumbles, and was lucky to still be down just 7-0. FSU started off the second quarter with a 21-yard touchdown pass by Bill Kappelman to Bill Gunter, who ran down the far sideline, eluding the Tiger defenders. After a missed extra point, FSU stood tall 13-0 at Grant Field. But momentum is a funny thing. Later in the quarter, Florida State would punt from their own 6-yard line, and out of nowhere, number 30 Craig Burns put on a magic act. 4 Seminole defenders were left grasping at air by the time Burns galloped 39 yards for LSU's first score of the night. Burns, a Baton Rouge native, had brought the Tigers back to life. The Bayou Bengals defense stepped up as well, sacking the Seminole quarterback on consecutive plays and forcing a punt. LSU's Mark Lumpkin attempted a 32-yard field goal, and his kick was true, cutting into Florida State's lead 13-10. As both teams ran through the same goalpost heading into the half, the Tigers trailed by a field goal and had no idea the back-and-forth game that awaited them. In the third quarter,
we saw the first half. How did this end, Mike?
We wound up winning. It was close. Thanks to good line on offense. Thanks to good line blocking and tremendous receiving by our receivers. Tommy Morrell, catching up third down and 10 or 12-yard pass.
Wet game too.
It was raining and cold and muddy.
Bert, any game stick out that was real sloppy, trying to grip the ball in the NFL or LSU?
Oh, yeah. Every week it seems like. You had to have a good excuse, right, Mike?
Well, down in Lockport, it was never cold, but it was wet.
Yeah. We played in Auburn in the rain and beat them over there.
Yep.
And I think when we played and tied Florida 3-3, it was in the rain. But it never rains in Tiger Stadium.
Yeah. And the only guy that could use the stickum back then, I think, was Fred Blitnikoff, right? He had that stuff everywhere.
Well, there was stuff everywhere on the sideline. I don't think it was sanctioned at the time.
Kenny Stabler, maybe Fred.
You know,
maybe a few
if
of those
Mike
guys.
were just 2 or 3 inches taller, he would have been better than Kenny Stabler.
Yeah.
Hey, look, speaking of Ruston, and we're going to get to Lockport, but we got our recruit of the week. We want to show this kid off. 2 years ago, and I think I was telling Mike over the summer, so they got a big lineman at Ruston that nobody's talking about, Ray Parker. He's a tight end. I think he'll be a tackle. Bert's seen him play. That's his hometown, and that's where he lives.
Truly talented. I saw him make a catch that hopefully you have it.
But let's go ahead and run the footage. He's 6'6", about 280, 285, depending on what he's eating that week. This is the kid in motion, number 85. He's got good hands. He breaks tackles. He's tough. Look, this is a big old boy. This kid's almost 290. Look at the catch. Look at him getting upfield. Look at that. That's not your everyday high school tight end. Here he is going in motion again. Look at him blocking. He moves the guys. You know, in high school, these guys usually kind of patty cake, but he moves kids. Here he is in motion again. Look, moves 2 people, 3.
He's a full-grown man.
He's long. He's a great blocker. There he is again blocking. Look, these guys are big up over. These teams they play have big D lines. Bert knows that.
Oh, yeah.
The Nevilles of the world, the West Monroes, the Richwoods. I mean, they're his size, and he's moving them around. Look at this kid block. I think he'll be a big tackle, big time. He's long. Bert, I don't know. I think he hates me saying this. Ray told me, he said, don't say O-line. I'm a tight end. I said, okay.
And he's a good tight end.
He's a good tight end, got good hands.
I saw him make one catch. I don't know if you have it. I think it was against Neville, where he was coming out, kind of like a 10-yard bench to the outside, and a guy was literally hanging on him and threw him the ball, and he made a one-arm catch and shook the guy that they call pass interference on anyway, and then moved up the field for about another 10 or 15 yards. The guy is really talented. He's a good player. He probably has just about outgrown his position is the only problem. But no, he has done wonderful things at Ruston High as a tight end.
Here's a great question for you. Who's the greatest football player ever to come out of Ruston High School?
Who is the best football player? They have had
Bert?
so many. No, no.
Bert?
We've had some
We're
really
gonna-
good
we're gonna
ones out of
Fred
Ruston High.
Dean.
We're gonna
Kyle
rethink
Fred
Williams.
Dean, Kyle Williams, my father, Dub Jones,
Dub Jones.
Pro Bowl 8 times. There have been a lot of great players that have come out of Ruston High.
We'll talk about that more. We'll think about it more in the break. We only have 2 segments left. We're going to talk about Lockport too when we come back. We'll be right back.
Where is Lockport?
Honey, what's wrong with the disposer?
What disposer?
Clogged drain? Call Roto-Rooter, America's neighborhood drain expert.
When you come to Relief Windows, your experience starts here.
Or here.
Then we come to your home.
We measure twice.
And then we bring custom windows to your home.
We remove your old windows.
Install your new windows.
Clean our mess.
And we make sure you're completely satisfied.
And all of this before you pay a dime. And at Relief Windows, our #1 product is customer satisfaction.
Well, it finally happened, Zachary. Somebody burned down my she shed.
Nobody burned down your she shed, Cheryl.
Well, my she shed's on fire.
The she shed was struck by lightning.
Zachary, is my she shed covered by State Farm?
Your she shed's covered, Cheryl.
You hear that, Victor? I'm getting a new she shear she shed.
She shear?
Mm-hmm.
That's wonderful news.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.
Call or visit State Farm agent David Wilcox in Gonzales today.
Handling a gator like this can be scary, and this is pretty risky too. But do you know what's really dangerous? Dealing with the insurance company after your car wreck. If you've been injured, get a fighter. That's why you need to call me. I'm not afraid to handle them, and I'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve. So if you've been hurt, hire a professional. Just call me. Get it done.
Get Gordon. Get it done.
Call 888-8888 or go to getgordon.com.
Welcome back. Here's some great pictures of Mike. Look at Mike with the football and posing for LSU back in the day, man.
I was skinny then.
Look at that, man. Ready to go. Here he is.
Great throwing style.
Yeah, look at that.
If you just weren't vertically challenged, there's no telling where you could have gone.
Well, if I'd have been born in Monroe or Shreveport, I'd have been 6'2".
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, and then Bert shows up. Look, Bert's in the Colts.
Oh, Bert was cute.
Yeah, that's kind of the old Prince Valiant look. You remember that in the 70s,
Yeah.
Mike?
Yes, I sure do. That's when
I wish you hadn't put that shot up. My children might see it.
Mike, what do you think of Joe Burrow? And I'll ask Bert after, but what do you think of Burrow at LSU and how he's coming along?
I watched his first scrimmage in the field house. It was raining outside, so they had it in the field house. And I was kind of skeptical, but he was just learning the plays, learning the offense, learning the receivers. And I said, in time, he'll be good. He just doesn't have to make mistakes and push the envelope. Just work with his players and just stay steady and don't try to push too much and be too much all at once. And that's what he's doing, and I'm really impressed with
And
it.
Steve Ensminger, you got to applaud the man. I mean, 5-0.
Steve has done a great job.
Oh.
I mean, Bert, they have no knock on they got good running backs, but no Fournette, no Geis, no.
They're good players.
They're good players, but he's made it
That's
balanced.
the beauty of football, is it takes 11 men on the field all doing their job. And if they do that, they can be competitive with the players that they have. And I've been really impressed with Burrow. I mean, the thing I like most about him, he has a presence on the field where he has what I would call situational awareness. He knows where people are, what's going on. He can feel the the defenses, and he will make mistakes, but up to
What I like too, and I mean, y'all played quarterback. I was 5'8", high school quarterback. That was it. But watching the game again, he baits those DBs, causes those flags.
He looks away.
You know,
and then he comes back to his receiver.
It's like he just knows.
He has a veteran experience on the field at this time of state.
Tough too.
Which is great.
Yes.
And he's not a bad runner. Everybody makes fun that he's not real shifty and speedy, but if you look, he takes advantage of the opportunities given him.
You know, I'm sorry, you know, they were talking about Ole Miss not being a good team, but prior to the game, they were talking about Ole Miss is the best offense in the country. There's 3 first-round pick wide receivers. They got a quarterback that'll play in the NFL, half the offensive line. When LSU beat them after the game, they said, well, Ole Miss is not any good. You know,
no. Yeah, Ole Miss was pretty good.
Yeah,
Ole
good
Miss
team.
has a good team. They just have a little bit of discipline in the secondary.
Right.
They just have to be a little bit more disciplined and controlled when they run with receivers.
We got another recruit I want to show, and Bert and Mike see this guy's a linebacker that I like. And I went to a game earlier this year, and last year he was about 190. And film, you know, he didn't jump off the film. Now he's 230, 6'2". Jaden Barfield from John Curtis. And, you know, John Curtis, they produce great linebackers. Mike Stonebreaker was a real good one. They've got some good ones that came along that, you know, with injuries at LSU had some good ones over the years. But this kid here, he will come up instinctively and hit you, and he can read. He doesn't time 4.5, but he's a 4.7 guy. But he is a Mike linebacker that can come in instinctively, and he reads everything. And I think there's something to be said to that. You know, and Bert, I know you that, and Mike, y'all know that. But this kid is a man-child. He must have got in the weight room, and the weight just came on. I think he's one of the best linebackers in the state. And up till today, no big offers, but that will change with this senior film going out.
That's right.
Well, I don't know, but certainly I take your word for it. But he appears to have the presence on the field. And if he's 235, you said?
Yeah, 230, 235, 6'2".
He's got the perfect dimensions.
Great
for a
instincts.
linebacker.
Calls the plays in the huddle for JT. Not everybody gets to do that. There's another linebacker at John Ehret who's at the same school. The #1 linebacker in the country is at Dante Starks, who's committed to LSU. But there's another kid named Jacoby Windman, who's 6'3", 220. Just like this kid, he grew about 30 pounds his senior year, put the weight on. He could always run really well. He's a 4.5 with a 3.3 GPA and a 23 ACT. Plays wide receiver, leads them in receiving and touchdowns, and tackles on defense. Instinctive, and it's coming. LSU might be taking 2 John Ehret linebackers from the same defense.
That's amazing.
And they have 7 D1 senior starters, Bert, on their defense. 7.
Team to beat.
Well, you just better hope Nick Saban's not looking.
Well, it's going to be fun to see an Ehret play a Neville or a Ruston or a West Monroe. That would be a heck of a matchup against North Louisiana offenses against this defense. We're going to take a break. We've got one more segment left. We're going to talk more with Bert and Mike Hillman, and we'll be right back. Slot receiver reminds me
Delta
of the
World Tire is 100% committed to making every part of your experience with us hassle-free and pleasant. Whether it's tires, brakes, oil change, or scheduled maintenance, Delta World Tire's highest priority is serving you. If you're traveling this season, Delta World Tire is here to help you make sure your vehicle is road ready. If the tire needs replacing, the oil needs changing, or any other scheduled maintenance, Delta World Tire wants to make sure you get there.
We're Delta World Tire.
When you come to Relief Windows, your experience starts here.
Or here.
Then we come to your home.
We measure twice.
And then we bring custom windows to your home.
We remove your old windows.
Install your new windows.
Clean our mess.
And we make sure you're completely satisfied.
And all of this before you pay a dime. And at Relief Windows, our #1 product is customer satisfaction.
Honey, what's wrong with the disposer?
What disposer?
Clogged drain? Call Roto-Rooter, America's neighborhood drain expert.
Finally got me, Ben.
What's that, Rick?
The Clark Street crater, the mother of all potholes. For decades, it's tormented the people of this town. They try to fill it, but it always returns. Got me good.
But you know State Farm's got you, too.
You ain't nothing!
Are you trash talking a pothole?
Yeah. Yeah, I am.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.
Call or visit State Farm agent Bill Barkus in Baton Rouge today.
Handling a gator like this can be scary, and this is pretty risky too. But do you know what's really dangerous? Dealing with the insurance company after your car wreck. If you've been injured, get a fighter. That's why you need to call me. I'm not afraid to handle them, and I'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve. So if you've been hurt, hire a professional. Just call me. Get it done.
Get Gordon. Get it done.
Call 888-8888 or go to getgordon.com.
Welcome back, Louisiana Football TV magazine. To make a note, since we're talking about Ruston, we had Ray Parker, we got Bert Jones, Mike Hillman. They beat Neville this year. Neville's pretty good. Neville's got about 10 college prospects. That lets you know that Ruston is a serious contender this year. And I'm going to tell you what, they just don't have Ray Parker. They got a linebacker that's 6'3", 220, Dylan Skinner. He can play, and they've got a good little option quarterback. They've got some big guys on the O-line. Their defense is really good. I like this Ruston team to be someone to keep a little attention on late in the process because everybody's talking about West Monroe the last 10 years, and they've done well, and Neville's been doing well, but Ruston's is silently there, Bert.
They are. Honestly, I think their coaching staff, nothing against the players, have them playing above their talent level at this time.
Coaching them up a little bit.
I mean, they're coaching them up so well down at Ruston. The team has kind of gelled together. In the Jamboree, they look terrible. But then they open up against Neville and they just spank them. And nobody spanks Neville.
No.
But they just essentially dominated Neville in that game. I mean, we were up 28-0 early in the second quarter, which is a strong play. And they're a good football team. I don't think they have a few good players, but overall they're not on the level of the West Monroes and actually on the level of Neville.
But team-wise, I think it's a good team.
Team-wise, they're playing together, and they're 1 of 11.
And speaking of football and championships, I want to mention, and Mike Hillman played for his dad at Lockport High School, which is now Central Lafourche. Tommy Hodson was at Central Lafourche, if you're too young to remember that, but played at LSU. But his dad won 2 state championships in '63 and 1964. They beat Newellton, who's no longer a school. They consolidated. And then Oak Grove, which is a powerhouse. And you said it was cold.
It was 8 degrees at kickoff. I broke this finger after we scored a touchdown. I picked up the kicking tee because my feet were frozen. I couldn't kick, and my backup couldn't kick. Threw the ball out, and my finger broke and came out the side.
This was at Oak Grove?
Yeah.
Back before it was at the Superdome, it was at the schools.
Yeah.
And
it was, ground was rock hard like cement. The year before against Newellton, it was like it was back home. Nothing but a mud flat.
Mike, what was it like playing for your dad?
It was tough. I mean, it really was. He was an old, came up with some tough brothers in Slagle, Leesville area. Then he was a fighter pilot in World War II and a test pilot, and he was strict in everything he did. And I mean, he watched everybody else, but if I stepped out of line, I knew it real quick. I mean, seemed like every Monday, my junior year, I quit. I had enough of being scolded in the film room.
And Bert, your dad was a coach too. What was that like?
Well, my father did coach, but he never coached me. He was coaching for the Cleveland Browns when I was growing up. But I'll have to admit, my father, I'm one of 7 children. There was never any pressure for us to play football. Or the only thing was that if you did play, you were a team player, and that you had to play to the best of your ability. And don't come home hurt.
Crying about anything.
There was just no, of course, my father was gone for the fall, and so my mother would sit in the stands, and she literally would take a notepad and pen, and she'd say 1st and 10, -20, off tackle to Brother Bent or Shump, and she would chart the whole game, and she would fold it up and mail it to my daddy Monday morning, and then she'd go to the Louisiana Tech game and do it for my brother Bill. And so that's how my father caught up. We didn't have Instagram at the time.
No cell phones and all that stuff.
No cell phones, and so that's how he got a flavor of the game that we played.
We got a couple of minutes left, but same question for each former player. Favorite game in your LSU career? First, Mike. Is there a game that sticks out?
I liked the Auburn game. It was a tough game, toughest guys I've ever played against. But it was a hard-fought game from beginning to end. There was no let-up at all.
Bert, is there a game that sticks out to you? I know we talked about Ole Miss earlier.
There are a lot of games, but I guess the game against Notre Dame when we played them in Tiger Stadium after having lost to them 3-0 in South Bend, and Notre Dame's coach was a dear friend of my father. They played together on the Cleveland Browns era Parsiege, and so there was a little underneath issue there that was wonderful to win. But that was a great victory. But any game on a Saturday night in Tiger Stadium is special. It just doesn't get any better than that.
Well, I know the fans love seeing Bert and Mike on the show. I mean, our viewers just love seeing, and remembering, and I know there's a lot of fans. Y'all have a lot of fans that...
They have to be history majors. They would only have to be able to read it in the book. But Mike was a great player, a great,
Bert,
talented athlete.
All I want to say right now is that I'm so happy for Coach O, the coaching staff, the players. It is amazing because they weren't giving him any kind of a chance to be anywhere.
And just for your information, they're playing above their overall skill level,
I agree.
And a lot of people don't realize that. But Coach O, I've been to a few practices, and he has them disciplined.
Guys, thank you. Thanks, Jim Crane. Cystic fibrosis, October the 12th. Where? Santa Maria Golf Course in Baton Rouge. 8 a.m. a team, 1 p.m. Sign up. Give them a call. Jim Crane, thank you, Bert. Thank you, Mike. We'll be back all week long. You can watch the show statewide. We'll be back next week.